This video is on section 10.3, polygons, perimeter, and tessellations. We're not doing the tessellation part. Polygon is just any closed shape in the plane formed by three or more line segments, like these, which we'll look at in a second. A regular polygon is a polygon whose sides are all the same length and whose angles are all equal. Must be both. Sides all the same length and angles all equal. So you're probably familiar with some of these words here. Triangle has 3 sides. Quadrilateral has 4 sides. Now we're going to look at some more specific quadrilaterals in a minute, but as long as it's got 4 sides, it's a quadrilateral. Pentagon has 5 sides. Hexagon has 6. Heptagon is 7. And octagon is 8. One type of quadrilateral is a parallelogram, and a parallelogram is exactly what it sounds like. It's got parallel sides. It's got opposite sides that are parallel, so these two are parallel, these two are parallel, and furthermore, those sides are equal too. So opposite sides are equal. Those two are equal, these two are equal. Opposite angles are equal. Those are equal, these are equal. A rhombus is a very special type of parallelogram, and it's a parallelogram that has all sides equal. So it has all the parallelogram characteristics, but it also has all 4 sides equal. The parallelogram only had 2 pair of opposite sides equal. Rhombus has all 4 equal. Rectangle is a special kind of parallelogram. It's a parallelogram with 4 right angles. Because it's a parallelogram, it has all the parallelogram characteristics, but furthermore, we've got right angles here. A square is a type of rectangle because it's got all the right angles. The only difference is it's got all 4 sides equal. And trapezoid is a quadrilateral with exactly 1 pair of parallel sides. That's parallel to that. These 2 sides here are not parallel. It's got exactly 1 pair of parallel sides. So, can you name this based on the number of sides? Well, we can just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And an 8-sided polygon is called an octagon. Find the perimeter of the square. We already talked about perimeter before. Perimeter is a distance around. Also, this is a square. Telling me that this is a square tells me that all 4 sides are equal. So they are all 4 140. So to get this perimeter, I could do 140 plus 140 plus 140 plus 140. What would be easier is just 4 times 140, which is 560 inches. Now, pay attention here. It says use the same unit of measure that appears on the given side. Since the sides are all inches, then your answer will be inches. Find this perimeter, a little bit more work involved. Perimeter is a distance around, so I would need to add up all of these sides. The problem is I don't have those 2 sides, but I have enough information to figure it out. I would like to find this whole side. Well, this is 7, which means up to here, this is 7. Look above, this portion is 3, so that tells me this whole side is 10 feet. And I will do the same thing over here, going up to here. I can draw it. That much is equal to this 4 over here. And then the rest of this is equal to that 3 right there, which makes that side 7. And if you add all that up, 3 plus 3 plus 7 plus 4 plus 10 plus 7. Now what did I do there? I just started here and just worked my way around. And you might, to be sure you haven't left anything off, mark it off. Here's my 3, there's my 3, there's my 7. There's my 4, there's my 10, there's my 7. I have everything. Add that up is 34 feet. Similar one. One little thing here, they didn't provide us with any kind of units, so at the very end, our answer will just be units. And we need to figure out these missing sides. I don't have this side over here, and I don't have the bottom. So let's attack this side right here. Now notice this is not like the other one. This goes a little bit below where this is, so we don't have that right there. But we do know that this is 6, and this portion over here is 5. So this whole side is 11 units. So this must be also 11 units. This whole thing must be 11 units. Well, this takes up 3, so what's left over for this is 8, because 3 from 11 is 8. To get this bottom part, I know from here to here is 3, and I know from here to here is 7, and that little piece over there is 2. So to find these missing sides, you just need to look directly opposite and use those same numbers. So this whole bottom is 12, and then I just want to start here and start adding them up. So this is 7 plus 8 plus 2 plus 3 plus 12 plus 5 plus 3 plus 6, and if we add all of that up, it is 46 units. Now the angles of a polygon, the sum of the measures of the angles of a polygon with n sides is this formula right here. This is worth writing down on your index card. Quantity n minus 2 times 180. Find the sum of the measures of the angles of an octagon. Octagon has 8 sides, so I'm using this formula. And be sure on your calculator, if you're going to enter this the way you see it, that you put the 8 minus 2 in parentheses. Of course, you could just do 8 minus 2 in your head and get 6, and then just enter 6 times 180, which is going to give me 1080. So the octagon has 1080 degrees in the whole octagon. If you know it happens to be a regular octagon, which is where all the sides and all the angles are equal, then you can find the measure of each angle in the octagon by dividing. If you divide 8 into 1080, you will get 135 degrees for each angle of the octagon. All right, we've got a regular polygon. That's important to me. That lets me know that all of these angles are equal. So I can use this formula to find out how many degrees there are in the whole polygon. It is a 5-sided figure, so 5 minus 2 is 3. 3 times 180 is 540 degrees in the whole polygon. It is a regular polygon. So if I divide this by 5, that means each angle of the polygon is 108 degrees. 108, 108, 108, 108, 108. That's angle A is 108. But they also asked me to find angle B. Remember that whenever you have this situation where you have a straight line and you have this other line jutting out, you're making 2 angles side by side. If you have 2 angles side by side that make a straight line, that means those 2 angles add up to 180. So to find angle B, I just have to take 180 and subtract 108, which gives me 72 degrees. Similar problem here. I want to find the sum of the measures of this whole thing. Yes, they've given me some of the measures, but I don't use that to find the sum. I use the fact that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-sided figure. So using the formula, this is 5 minus 2 times 180, which is 3 times 180, which is 540 degrees. So this is our answer for part A, 540 degrees. Now we want to find out angle A and angle B. Now we can add up these numbers that we know inside that figure. So if you add 30 plus 165 plus 90 plus 90 for the 2 right angles, then you have these add up to 375. If we subtract that from 540, that will give me 165 degrees, and this was our answer for angle A, is 165. We've got the same situation we had a second ago, where A and B are next door neighbors who make a straight line. So to find the missing angle, the outside angle, it is 180 minus 165, which is 15 degrees, and that's our answer for B. Find the measure of each angle that is represented in terms of x. What kind of figure is this? How many sides is this? Count this up as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Knowing that there are 6 sides, I can figure out how many degrees there are in the whole polygon. So use your formula, 6 minus 2 times 180, which is 4 times 180 is 720. Now this is not a regular polygon. I can't just divide by 6. What I have to do is add all of these up, and I'll just start in this upper and just write them down in order. 135 plus x plus 10 plus x plus 145 plus x plus 10 is 720. And now we just have a basic equation to solve. Gather up your like terms, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4 x's. Add up all of these, 135 plus 10 plus 145 plus 10 gives us 300. And now this is your basic two-stepper equation. Subtract 300 from both sides. 4x is 420. Divide by 4, and x is 105. That's just what x is. It asks me to find the measure of each angle that is represented in terms of x. So look up here and see which ones have got an x in it. This one does, this one does, this one does, and this one does. So those are both x. So my angles are 105, 105. If I put 105 in here, I get 115. Same thing here, I get 115. And a school playground is in the shape of a rectangle, 70 feet long and 200 feet wide. So I will put 70 feet, 200 feet. If fencing costs $20 per yard, these are in feet. I need these to be in yards. And if I could divide this out evenly, I would change it to yard right now. But instead on this one, notice what's going to happen. You know, for a rectangle, the opposite sides are equal. If I add all of this up, I'm going to get 540 feet. Now I'm going to change to yards using our conversion factors like we did before. I need to have feet on the bottom, yard on the top. There are 3 feet in 1 yard. So feet goes away. I'm left with yards. Divide this out, and it's 180 yards. Now I can use the fact that fencing costs $20 per yard and multiply this by $20, and I get 3,600 yards. Now, a certain field is a rectangle with a perimeter of 928 feet. The length is 160 feet more than the width. Now, if you guys took prep math, we taught you these in prep math, and this is the way I've always taught these. I say you need to come over to the side and name these variables. I don't want to use 2 variables because we can't solve equations with 2 variables. So the length is 160 feet more than the width. One of these needs to be what I call the plain old variable. And the reason it's width is that this sentence right here tells me the length is yada, yada, yada. I know nothing about the width, and that's why my width needs to be the plain old variable. Then I can look at this sentence and write an expression. The length is 160 feet more than the width. Now I have values I can put on my picture. The length is 160 plus W, which means this one is 160 plus W, and the width is plain old W. There is a formula for perimeter, but I just say, let's add these all up. The perimeter is the sum of all these sides. So starting up here, the top is 160 plus W. The right is W. The bottom is 160 plus W. And the left is W. And all of that should add up to 928. Now combine your like terms. You have 4W plus 160 plus 160 is 320. And we finally have a decent 2-step equation to solve. Subtract 320 from both sides. Gives me 4W equals 608. I'll go up here where I've got some room. So 4W equals 608. Divide both sides by 4, and W works out to be 152 feet. Now I'm not finished because it said find the length and the width. So this is where it's nice to go back to where I've named these variables. Go right up in here. The width is 152 feet. To find the length, put 152 in place of that, and that's going to give me a length of 312 feet.